Welcome back to another Mets Minute on the road. It is me, Todd, with another week of the minute. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate that. Live studio audience here on the road. It's a crucial week and 2 weeks coming up here for the Mets as they've continued to do their win one, lose one back and forth that they've done a lot this year. But we're in mid-July, which means we're coming up at the trade deadline here. We need to determine whether we're buyers, whether we're sellers, and either way, what players are coming, what players are going. In my opinion, when you have the pitching that we have this year and when you have essentially 1 year of Cespedes left, you have to go for it no matter what. And thankfully, we're actually still quite close to a playoff spot, so it makes sense to go for it now, and the Wilpons and Sandy Alderson surely will. But if they will, who are they going to bring in? What are those final pieces that we need? You guys hear from me a lot every week, so I thought instead, since we're on the road, bring in some of my panel experts to help me answer that question. First, you remember him from earlier this season. He's the eternal optimist, Alex. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Great to have you
It's
here,
a pleasure
Alex.
to be here.
So, as you heard me kind of intro there, what's the one move, in your expert opinion, that you'd like to see the Mets make in the next 2 weeks?
This is an emotional question because no matter where you choose to make the move, you're giving up on somebody who we love. At third, it would have been a natural choice, but I'm really hopeful that Reyes will bring some offense to the
Great
table.
to have him back.
Granderson has never really hit for the average that we're looking for this season, but he hits home runs, formerly out of the leadoff spot. Thankfully, he's out of that
And we're
position
paying him
now.
a lot of money.
Paying him a lot of money, so that's not really a good opportunity. I think it has to be at first base. Love Lucas Duda. I think he's a great presence on the team, but he's incredibly streaky. He's one of the streakiest hitters in baseball. We just don't know what his future is like given that.
Yeah, the question is when he comes back from the
Given the
back end.
injury,
Yeah.
we need somebody to hit for average.
Mhm.
We are horrible with runners in scoring position because
right.
even though we've got some sluggers, everybody hits low batting
Dig
average.
it.
So just be great to find somebody who can be hitting consistently over 300. First base, I feel like there's an opportunity.
Right.
That said, one more idea.
Yes.
It's also going to go great, by the way.
Very optimistic. I
Um,
like that.
Last year we got Juan Uribe to come in.
Yeah.
Really good, again, in the dugout in terms of his leadership and presence. And we need somebody to pinch hit because when Alejandro De Aza pinch hits, it's embarrassing for everybody involved.
It's ugly.
Yeah.
It's ugly. All right, so pinch hitter and first base.
Yeah, and we definitely need to go for it this season. Go all the way. When we've got
You're
a pitching
fully in.
rotation like we've got in Yoenis Cespedes, this is not a building year. This is a championship year.
That's
we need
it.
to go fully in.
You've heard it from the eternal optimist, Alex. Thank you for being on the show. Great to have you. Just so refreshing having him on. But for a different perspective, I think perhaps we'll bring in everyone we know from the earlier this year. You know, you love him, Don, the eternal pessimist. Don, great to have you.
Okay, Todd,
There
I'm
he is.
back.
Don,
All
great to have you on the show.
yeah.
All right. Now, obviously, we've just heard a very positive outlook on what might happen. What are some of your thoughts? What's one move that you would make?
2 words, lost season.
Last season.
Cespedes is having a good year, but when you look at the starting lineup, we have at various points lost our starting catcher, first baseman, shortstop, third baseman, left fielder, and several of our pitchers, including Matt Harvey. So I don't see it as a year to go out and make a big acquisition. I see it as a cruising year, and we'll regroup and we'll look at things again for 2017.
So you don't think we should buy or sell? You just cruise with it.
I'm on the cruise mode.
Ooh, that's a tough
Cruise
outcome.
control.
I don't think any fans would enjoy that,
Yeah.
but I'm not surprised hearing it from you. But I
Yeah.
do appreciate that you're not saying that the world's going to end or the team's going to implode. It's not happening.
We've
this year.
got some great talent. It's not happening this year.
All right.
Yep.
Well, we're going to cruise. You cruise on out of here.
All
And Don,
right.
thanks for having me on the show.
Okay.
Okay, well, to bring in our final guest, I think both of those were very informed opinions, and I also like to have just a bit of a kind of a variety in opinions that we have here on the show. So, the eternally uninformed, Aaron, it's great to have you back. Welcome to Mets Minute.
Thanks, it's good to be here.
Yeah, I look forward to getting to the whole segment this time. So, Aaron, as you know, we've got 2 weeks left before the trade deadline. What is the one move that you make, buying or selling, in the next 2 weeks?
Both.
You both buy and sell.
Let me lay it out to you.
Okay.
Please settle down a little bit. The issue is here. We have a lot of emotional ties wrapped up in each one of these players, so it's going to be difficult to say goodbye to any one of them.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Cespedes, when you look at Glandolfin, or Julio Franco,
Yeah.
any one of those guys has been with the organization for a long time. Now,
Huh.
Cespedes in particular seems to be someone that you guys talk a lot about. So I think he might be a hard one to say goodbye to.
Right.
Personally, let's keep him in the collection. I like to refer to him as
It's
a
not as
collection.
much of a collection, I think.
Well, the way I look at it, it's more of a curation.
Okay, so you want to both get rid of and retain and add to the curation for the rest of the year.
Here's the way I look at it. Listen, let me put it to you this way:
Please
we're
put
eight
it
and a
to
half games out of first. We're hitting at about 697. So in order to get to 1,000,
Yeah.
you're batting 1,000. I heard that's a good thing. Got to make sure you pick up some new players. So to do that, I think we need to look into other areas, places that you haven't typically gone. Gas stations, picnic tables, places that you,
Picnic tables,
well,
yeah.
picnics, like people are having a nice summer time.
Yeah,
They're
interesting.
out with their families, and maybe you think, well, hey, that guy knows how to play ball. Let's go ask him.
I like
So
that.
you walk over to him, and you say, hey.
This reminds me
Gas
of the
stations.
movie Major League from the 80s. Is that what you're trying to recreate?
Yeah, Rick Dorn.
Rick Dorn. Okay, well, there you have it, folks. The eternally uninformed but opinionated Aaron. Aaron, thanks for being on the show. I think we've heard a lot of really interesting things this week. It'll be interesting to see how they play out, whether they're buying, they're selling, or whether they're doing that simultaneously. All that I know is that it's going to be a decision time for Sandy. I look forward to seeing what he does. I, like I said, believe this is the year for us to win it all, or to at least try to. So we'll see what happens. But that's Minute Nation. I appreciate you coming in and sparing your time with us this afternoon. We'll see you next week when we're back in studio. But until then, this has been the Mets Minute Nation. Good night.